Okay, clarifying from the first video I did. I'm not planning on doing many videos at all, and I'm going to get into that, talking about spiritual stuff, maybe not in this video. But I wanted to clear up. Okay, Gog means deceived, agitated. Magog, because M-A in front of the word makes it inverse. So Magog means unagitated, undeceived. When we're talking about Gog and Magog, and potentially that having something to do with the stuff, right? And yeah, post 1,000-year reign, I'm going to show you these pictures of these churches. There's a few different architectural styles. There's Greek columns, Victorian, of course, these red brick ones, and these onion domes, and they're all over the world, dating from such and such time. Okay. And I just clipped a bunch of pictures so you could get a visual thing. I'm going to go through these real quick. You know, some of these are actually in Detroit, Michigan. It's this kind of style, though, okay? Which one is this? That one looks like it has that Star of David kind of thing on the front. These, again, are the same kind of thing. You know what? I might have to do this one at a time. Forget it. Who cares, right? These are the brick goth. So basically what we think is happening, okay, is that we're in the latter days here, and we're in like a loop. And I think we keep repeating this, a bunch of us, and we never hit critical mass. And then we all get reset and start over, in my opinion, in this damn loop. When you think about things like the prevalence of Lyme disease, and it's worse than anything else out there, and it targets arch negatives, right? To me, that doesn't make sense. I don't think in the old world there were weaponized tick-borne illnesses like that targeted a certain blood type. That to me sounds more like the guy who's running the show right now for a time. Could be 100, 150 years. But I have a feeling that I could have done a video like this and the other one hundreds, if not thousands of times. I feel like we're looping because I think we are. Okay. The reason the enemy would keep us in a loop is to delay judgment. And the reason it works so well is that script is a perfect script, and it just reusing the script again. But we don't know that it's being reused because history is hidden from us. Okay. There's these, I'm going to show you pictures all over the world. There are these onion domes and these Russian ones, and apparently onion domes symbolize the heavenly abode. Okay, let me see if I can find what is this? Oh, I think this is the Glass Castle World Fair, some sort of thing. It's the same kind of architecture. Any of these pictures like this is an onion dome. So any of these pictures are going to be harkening back to what I was talking about, and I didn't really elaborate in the first video. And I've got a pretty strong feeling about this. As soon as I started thinking about this, I had a pretty strong feeling about it. And to me, now you're not going to open? To me, that's noteworthy. Because everything else just kind of felt like, nah, you know. This is the style again right here. It's a cyberpunk style, they call it. The architecture that goes with that. I think that's Big Ben Parliament. And again, I'm just showing these structures. And a lot of these amazing churches, like the Sistine Chapel, and all that amazing stuff that Michelangelo made, right? I think was made and built by the saints during the 1,000-year reign, which we are past right now. St. Peter's Basilica. Is this in Detroit? There's a heck of a lot of these red brick buildings in Detroit. And the Goth, and but we're of the opinion these were all built during the 1,000-year reign, and history was manipulated. And there's a lot more to this too. But come on, how bland does everything look here nowadays? I think it's just a pseudo carbon copy world, and we're just in a matrix looping. And I think we're gonna loop until we get enough people on the same page. Okay, this is St. Andrews. Battle of Gog, Magog, 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 Magog. Yeah, the word first, and it has to be spoken out to be manifested. You know, the power of words, harmonic weapons. I've had stuff where I've seen moving, like with, I guess, kind of these visions, moving large structures, and it looks like it's just a person carrying it around, but it's hard to tell. But harmonic weapons could cause a lot of these instability in the top layers of the earth, and stuff would just sink into it like quicksand. And a lot of these buildings I'm showing you, they don't say built, they'll say founded because they were built already. It's kind of like the pyramids, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Yeah, and again, this style, this is in Detroit. That kind of architecture. This is in Detroit too, I'm pretty sure. There just happened to be that many in Detroit. I wasn't looking at Detroit as like the gold mine of this, but I believe this was done by the saints. Some of the saints were artists, just like in the Old Testament, how they built up that stuff for Solomon and everything, you know. Yeah, because nothing these days touches this stuff, man. The architecture, the artwork, and it just doesn't have that same appeal that these old buildings do, that I think were built by the saints during the 1,000-year reign. It's the best thing I've come across. That's why I was sharing it. And if I share something, I'll let you know what my feelings are and the viability of it. If I'm going to talk about it, it means at least I'm entertaining it. There's something to do with the Tartarians too, you know. I didn't really get into that though. And this is an onion dome. And like I said, what's it say? Onion dome means it symbolizes the heavenly abode when viewed from the inside. So what I'm saying is, a lot of them are mosques now in the Middle East, but all these old structures, I believe, were built during the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Okay? Then he left, or the bounds were loosed on, and the devil's running the show now. That's why all these people sick with Lyme disease. That's why all this weird Matrix Truman Show stuff. I've got a small sample size. I don't know, but I wanted people to know if you're experiencing, you know, any pulsing or vibrating. Those searches are really high too on Google. At least they were. Body vibrating. Why is my body vibrating? And yada 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 yada. And if you speak in tongues, or if you just say God or Jesus in your head, it will stop immediately for like 10 seconds. Then it'll start again. And do an elimination diet with the people you hang out with. I'm trying to just get this out, okay? Do an elimination diet with the people you hang out with, like you do with food, so you can find out what effects certain people might have upon you. I have done that, okay? And living in pretty much solitude, it was pretty all quiet on the Western Front, and then I uploaded a video last week for the first time in a year. And it is true stuff, and of what I believe to be true, and, you know, unique insight. And it's not one of the narratives I just, you know, got in with everybody else. And unbelievable since then. But see, there's so many variables. I don't have enough case data, but I have a feeling that it's from. That's why I wasn't going to do videos anymore. But by doing just a couple public videos, though, if I'm right about that, then this pulsing and vibrating the tones started up in earnest right after I did the video, right? I'm not saying that's the reason, but it's a pretty good deterrent, because it doesn't sound unpleasant, but it is. It's crackling and popping in your apartment, you know, spilling like your peanut butter, like dumb crap like that. And it's so, everyone's journey is different, and you need to have two witnesses. Without two witnesses, you got nothing. But I think if I had a girlfriend, someone else said this, if I had a girlfriend or he had a girlfriend, it wouldn't be as bad because there's two witnesses. But if you're alone, you know, and I'm only sharing a very little bit. I'm going to talk about orgonite, and I believe it's a good energy simulator, and it blocks bad energy stuff, you know. It's legitimate, and it makes wildlife more attracted to you. And I got videos I'm going to share camping outside and feeding wildlife. And I believe it, you know, like I'd never seen a walking stick before, amongst other, just a lot of wildlife. But that's the thing, there's so few people. It's just everything sounds great, looks great. People are so smooth speaking, and they're not offensive, and they have these amazing, awesome theories, but I don't know. At least that's how it looked to me at first when I was first, you know, looking into this stuff. I'm laying there last night, I'm like, I gotta do a video just talking about how the magnitude of this weirdness, Beetlejuice house kind of stuff. And I don't want to get into all the stuff, but I do know the lust of the flesh makes it worse. I know me and others will have a ringing in our left ear a lot of times that precedes it happening. But I think it's just, that's the one we've experienced because we're young men, you know, relatively. And I think it'd be different for everybody else, though. So let's say I'm doing videos first time in a year and I'm talking about something that I don't think almost anybody's really talking about, and say by talking about that I get a few people that listen to this, forging a new ground and getting out of this, you know, echo chamber. That, you know, for the person running the show, that's not what they want to do, you know. I mean, if you know me and my history, just the things that have happened since I started doing videos, and why I stopped doing videos, and the whole AI comments, you know. If you've been around since the beginning, you remember it was different. I had comments open and I talked to people before. You know, it's different now. Anyway, harmonic weapons. I don't know how many times I've done this video, how many lifetimes. It's not really reincarnation if we're just getting groundhog data. However many there are of us, few thousand, 100,000, I don't know. But I feel that this stuff is important. What I'm saying is important to give you an understanding about the pulsing vibration, snap, crackle, popping around you or your apartment at night. Sometimes it'll make you like twitch. You'll feel it. It's good to have an understanding of that because no one talks about any of that either. In general, you have to be autodidactic or whatever. You have to be self-taught to kind of, you know, learn this stuff. All right, I've been going good here. Yeah, I don't want to talk too long. And then I was like, you know, it's just been, it was calm, quiet on the Western Front. Not having contact with much people at all, convalescent and calm. And the only thing that changed was I did a public video. And bam, it was just like what happened before. And that trigger time, like it could be somebody who has this stuff on them. It could be lust of the flesh, or it could be telling truth in a time of universal deceit, you know? But I don't intend to do a bunch of videos ever again anymore. I just wanted to share the 1,000-year reign thing. And like I wanted to say real quick, the analytics on my channel, the analytics. The videos that have the #1 views, right, were the Derek Prince, Spiritual Warfare, and the How Fallen enter into Host, and it says RH negatives are good at fighting evil. Like, I've never had that video #1 in views and watch time. And I think it could speak to the climate we find ourselves in. I'm telling you, man, you know, and you're not supposed to put a lamp under the bed or whatever, right? But when this stuff's going on, you get past the fear, okay? You get past the fear, but it's still, it's intrusive, and it interferes with sleep, and you got to deal with people's stuff all over, and you got this going on where it feels like you're laying on a bed that's pulsating all the time. But it was only doing that after you did a public video. But again, not enough evidence, but it'd be like if I did do the video, then it got even better. That would be one thing. But based on what I already have, evidence I already have, it's likely that doing videos, and hence why Joe ain't doing no videos anymore, man. You know, people are gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. From the beginning, my whole intention was to share what I understand with people who are kind of like me, who it will be applying to, a very niche audience, you know. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Yeah, not the best, but at least it's something, because I've gone back and forth. I'm like, well, I don't want to leave it open-ended. If I don't do another video, I said a couple things wrong in that first video, you know, so I don't want to, you know what I mean, I don't want to leave it open-ended like that. Greek columns, and like in 1764 in Nevada, they have this huge obelisk. Like, how did they even get that there? The technology, it doesn't make any sense, man. All these amazing things that were built. Unless it was, you know, covered up. And time trapped loop I have written here. Devil's using the old script. And it works. But a lot of you, after a time, don't you get a feeling in your stomach or in your head that something's not right here? That something's amiss. Some of us get that. Some of us get that feeling. So, anyway, so from the beginning, my intention to do videos was to share truth and learn from the others that are like me. And the only reason I'm doing it now is to offer this 1,000-year, because I think there's something to it, and I think some people might it might help them, you know, or at least get them caught out of whatever rut they're in the echo chamber that is this world, right? Yeah, the buildings don't say founded, they say built. I mean, they don't say built, they say founded. A lot of these amazing structures, okay? And those are the ones I was talking about over 1,000 years in the Middle East and Russia, the Ukraine, North America, South. There's these structures are all over the globe, man. And I believe it was different versions of cultures all under the rule of Christ, making their own version of stuff to honor Christ. So, and that's why we're in this loop now. Okay, we're in the loop now. And if that's the only reason I'm doing the video, is because if I feel that we're in a loop and not enough of us understand what's going on, and I also am sympathetic to people freaking out, because I have a friend, he went to the hospital a few different times in the last couple months for heart palpitations, right? But I was like, no, I didn't know how to explain to him. You know, I'm not a doctor physician. If you think that, you know, go to the hospital, of course. But there's something in the ether, and it can, like, squeeze your shoulder. Really subtle. It's not like a hand squeezing it, but there's pressure. You know? A lot of times the earring's a dead giveaway, but that only usually happens with preceding it after being sinful, or in terms of the flesh and the lust. It's just what it is, you know. I wish I had a better example, so don't have to, you know, muck things up that way, but it's unprecedented. New watermark, higher than it's ever been, you know. But I would just, you know, follow your instincts. Don't operate on fear too much, because if we all are too afraid and don't do half of what we're supposed to do, We're all going to be doing this again, in my opinion. So we'll be immortal in this loop. And the movies keep bringing this up, dude. This whole, it was in that Army of the Dead movie, this loop. Okay? So we got to, expand our minds, and, you don't need to do a video every week. You could do one every, 4 months or whatever, or a few of them. Have some decent information that can provoke some thought. I know there's some stuff I missed here, but I just wanted to get this done. So I'll have it 1 and 2, and it'll kind of, it's the, I think it's the Gog and Magog. I think that's what it is. So, there's more about star forts and all that stuff, but I'm not doing that right now because I want to wrap this up. It was a nice tight video, and I don't want to talk too long. So, if I upload this, yeah. And thank you for everybody I've met and all that kind of stuff. I kind of focus more on the big picture than interpersonal relationships right now. I think we all need to kind of not think about ourselves too much and our needs and wants and desires beyond the biological basics. And we need to kind of, there's nothing in that. We need to put our thought and energy into more productive stuff. Okay. Jesus bless you.